Hi there, it's Matthew here. I've got a challenge out there for Protestants. I'm coming out with a pretty bold statement, and that is that sola scriptura, or the Bible alone, is a lie. Um, my background, I've studied theology for nearly 2 decades now. I'm passionate about Scripture and about getting to know God, and I wish fellow Christians out there, or people exploring the faith, I wish them all the best. And my thoughts and my prayers that God works wonders in your life. They go out to you all. Um, Nevertheless, my reason for being here is I spent 15 years in the Reformed Church, and have wonderful, great things to say about the people that I met, and they're all Christians, and they're all headed in the right direction. And I have concerns about them as well, and that is the tradition that Protestants, regardless of whichever the 33,000 denominations they choose to come from, is that they have a tradition of blindly criticizing the Catholic Church, to the point where they can be presented with facts and they'll shake their head and come up with a different fact for the reason that they don't like Catholics. And then when I'm not there, they'll turn around and go straight back to Mary worship or something of that regards. Anyway, without getting too far afield, my topic tonight is sola scriptura, um, and the perception that Protestants have that the Bible alone is sufficient for getting to know God, and sufficient for understanding God's instructions for us while we're here on earth. The Bible clearly tells us that the church is a pillar of truth, and that not only it was the words that were written, but also the things that Christ said to us and the traditions that He gave us. Sola Scriptura again. Martin Luther himself admitted at the trial of Worms that he added the word alone to the Bible alone. And his response was, "You tell those asses in Rome that, yeah, so be it that I added those words, and that they were my words is as good as that they were the words of Christ Himself." So, although I think Martin Luther had a number of wonderful traits, the nonsense that was going on in the church at that time and the mismanagement of men needed to be challenged. And I think it gave the church a great shakeup, and I think he needs to be congratulated for that. Um, but he was a heretic. Never, from my perspective, he was a heretic nevertheless. Um, he also walked away, and he took half of the New Testament out. The book of James is a perfect example, because it talks about we're saved by grace through faith, and that faith without works is pointless. Then he turned around, and it's the Protestant perspective that Catholics feel we have to do good things every day, and we ride on the fact that, oh, we were maybe good people. That's not it. The official teaching is that we are saved by grace through faith, and that faith without works is pointless. Yet this perception is constantly pushed by Bible Christians, and it's because it's just pure ignorance, and it's telling lies. And we all know where lies come from. They come from the prince of lies. Again, the Bible alone. Um, how long? What did the early Christians use? Now, the Bible wasn't. Not even the first book was written until 50 years after Christ had died. Did the early Christians use the Bible? If not, 50 years. What did they use? At what point did we decide which books were actually going to go into the Bible and be biblical, and which ones would not? Um, who was given that authority? If they were just men and they were fallible, how do we know that the authors or the people that put the books in place had the authority to do so? Um, and when we look at Peter, we obviously know he was given authority of the first church. And I just like to challenge Protestants out there, and Catholics alike. Um, when we come up with a perspective or a position on theology, or our approach to getting to know God better, I am so frustrated by the discussions I come across, because I'm really passionate about this sort of stuff, and I like people who look at things objectively and they search for absolute truth, um, that purely make their decisions on which team they're on, and the banter that they've constantly heard drummed into their ears time and time again since they were kids. And it's the Catholic kids have their positions and the Protestant kids have their positions, and yet there's not a real lot of depth. And to be honest with you, all the Protestants I know who have turned around and really thought deeply about about Catholic theology and picked up Catholic canon to read what the actual laws were, um, are no longer Protestants. Um, Again, sola scriptura is a lie. It's not the Bible alone. It's the Bible, and it's the authority that God has passed on to the church through Peter, and that succession has been handed down through the Roman Catholic Church. And I implore all of you to really explore that with open hearts and open minds, and not to listen to the nonsense that's on YouTube. Don't take my word for it. Go out there, get it from the horse's mouth. Look at what Catholics really do believe. Look on the apologetics websites. Don't get it from people who are ex-Catholics that are angry at the church, because you're not going to get facts. You're going to get experiences. You're not going to get facts. Um, I don't know how anybody can challenge that as being inaccurate or not seeking the truth. So love to hear back. I'd love to see your comments. Take care, everyone. Bye.